Virginia's redistricting efforts were struck down today by the state Supreme Court, but Democratic lawmakers say they've got one appeal to go. In a narrow 4-3 ruling this morning, the state Supreme Court justices threw out last month's voter referendum, saying lawmakers broke the rules to get the issue on the ballot.
It's the latest twist in a nationwide fight over political power ahead of November. Our Cameron Thompson's live outside the Supreme Court with how political figures and others are reacting and how the Attorney General says he hasn't given up. Cam?
Yeah, Bill, the Democrats are saying that this ruling is overturning the will of 1.6 million Virginians who approved the referendum just over 2 weeks ago. But Republicans are saying that this is upholding the rule of law. And as you mentioned, Virginia's Attorney General says he has one more appeal left to go.
The court got the decision right, that they read the law, they looked at the Constitution, and they followed the Constitution.
Reaction from Republican State Senator Ryan McDougal after the Supreme Court of Virginia upheld his lawsuit and overturned the April 21st referendum, leaving Virginia's congressional map untouched.
Ruled, and as we have been saying from the beginning, you cannot violate the Constitution.
McDougal and other state Republicans sued Democratic leadership, arguing they didn't follow requirements needed to change the state constitution to replace the current map favoring Democrats 6-5 with one that favors them 10-1. They argued several points, but during oral arguments and in the majority decision, the justices focused on what constitutes an election. Virginia requires lawmakers pass referendum language twice, with an intervening election of the House of Delegates in between. The first passage was last October, when early voting had already started, and Republicans argued that meant it couldn't count as the intervening election, but Democrats argued only Election Day itself is what matters. In the 4-3 decision, the majority wrote in part, quote, "The General Assembly passed the proposed constitutional amendment for the first time well after voters had begun casting ballots during the 2025 general election." But in the dissent opinion, the justices wrote in part that the majority had just expanded what the word election meant in the Constitution, and that, quote, "This is in direct conflict with how both Virginia and federal law define an election."
Shame on you! Shame on the Supreme Court of Virginia for taking away our voice!
Shortly after the decision dropped, Michelle Jump says she drove in from Henrico to express how she felt about the ruling, calling it outrageous, and says the justices threw it out on a technicality.
We, as Virginians, voted for this map. We voted for this because we want to see balance restored to this nation, and we want to do that in any way that we can.
Virginia's redistricting fight is part of a larger one happening nationwide. It started last summer when President Donald Trump asked Republican-led states to get him more seats ahead of the midterms, and it gained even more momentum last week when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned parts of the Voting Rights Act. In a statement, House Speaker Don Scott said he'll respect the ruling, but added, quote, "We will keep fighting for a democracy where voters, not politicians, have the final say, because in Virginia, power still belongs to the people," end quote. Senate Majority Leader Scott Surville added the decision was unprecedented, as it was the first time the court had set aside the results of a statewide election. But McDougal and the justices in the majority said the results didn't matter, as the focus was on the process beforehand.
The other side asked the court not to rule before the election. And then after the election, they asked the court not to rule on the Constitution because the election had occurred. Whether the Constitution was followed should not matter whether there was an election or not.
And this afternoon, Attorney General Jay Jones announcing that he has filed with the Supreme Court of Virginia, asking them to stay issuing a mandate on today's ruling because he intends to appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States. At the state capitol, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.